So, my dear friends, here Lordia, and we are go now with an exclusive interview with my favorite goth band and pagan band from all times, Inkubus Sukkubus. Here we are with Kenja and Tony. Nossa arte invisível e nosso ofício sem nome é fazermos você esquecer da vida sob o sol. Noites intermináveis de boa música, onde trazemos sonhos que se realizam e a cada nova transmissão entregamos arte, informação, vertigem, visagem e voragem. Desde 2003 somos a Rede Vamp. Vampírica da América do Sul e de Portugal. Sigam nosso Twitch e descubram novo mundo. So, my noble friends, be very, very welcome to Rede Vamp. It's a great honor having you with us this evening.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Yeah, we're delighted to be invited, so thank you.
Oh, I'm very happy. Please tell for my audience a little bit about the history of Inkubus Sukkubus, the first night, the first songs. Where came the inspiration from Inkubus Sukkubus?
We formed when we were young vampires in 1649, and
no, we started at art college and
1989,
and I had a band at college, and we were looking for a singer, and somebody suggested that we should ask Candia to sing, and so Candia came round and had a rehearsal, and the first song we did was Star of Venus, which we later recorded, and that's how it started, and that was the first song she did, and then we also did Pagan Born and Beltane as well, and we also did Melancholy Blue, and those are the first songs which we did, and after about
it's all right. I should give Tony a nudge then, because I don't know if you can see this, and can you see that? It's God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was peeling the Queen's face, so I just gave him a nudge. It's sacrilege in this country. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
Leave her face alone.
And
that's our Queen.
And so that's how we started. And after about 6 months, we played our first concert at a place called the
Cafe Rene.
Cafe Continental.
Cafe Continental.
And then it was just carried on. And now it's 30 albums later. 25 albums and 30 years. That's it. Yeah.
And also we had to think of a band name then as well in the early days. So we went through a few
name changes.
Different ideas. At one point we were thinking, Sanctuary would be a good name. But then we found that someone else had beaten us to that. Lots of people have beaten us to that. Yeah. And then we were going to call ourselves Bella's Nap, as in after the burial mound, which is near to here in Gloucestershire. But then we discarded that because it rhymes with crap. So we thought we'd be inviting negative comments. So Incubus, Bella's Nap, very crap. So we plumped for Inkubus Sukkubus in the old, obviously spelt with C's instead originally.
Yeah.
That's stuck.
Yeah.
So 31 years later, here we are.
We're still here, still going. Yeah.
which is a great beginning and a great time. And so, what's the remember from the first shows, first albums? How was the reaction? How the pagan community reacted to a band playing some kind of gothic rock, a pagan rock from you?
Yeah, I the pagan, there wasn't much of a pagan music scene as such then. Well, it sounded very different. Those sort of bands that did perform music with pagan inspired lyrics tend to be a lot sort of folkier, a lot of folk kind of a lot more sort of traditional English sounding. So yes, I think we sounded quite different to what a lot of people perhaps were expecting then. And so there wasn't really a pagan music scene as such. So we kind of crossed over with sort of pagan, witchcraft and vampires. As obviously those are things that our music, our lyrics are about. So yeah, quite a diverse audience.
It's still very good though. I mean, I remember from the onset, we always had quite a good audience response. There were a lot of people, come to see us at our very first concert, and we certainly weren't really expecting many, but there was a lot of people, and the early shows were really good, just as much as the later ones have been. Yeah, it was very
terrifying though. I was really scared the first gig in those early days. I could just, it was just like a sort of dream state that I was in, because I had such bad stage fright. I could just remember walking through the crowds and people like patting me on the back, and I was just thinking, who am I? Where am I? What's going on? It was just so frightening. But yeah, you sort of learn to deal with those sort of nerves and embrace them and channel them into energy.
And now first time I see Inkubus Sukkubus here in Brazil was in the book of J. Gordon Melton, Book of the Undead, Encyclopedia of Vampires. Then I have access to a British magazine called, I'm not sure, but it's Bite Me. They realize some great parties, and I remember see Inkubus Sukkubus on one of these parties on his pages. Do you have a good remembrance of this, of the ninities?
Of the magazine, Bite Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was quite a long time ago. Yeah. Unfortunately, Bite Me aren't going anymore, but it
was a good magazine.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Definitely. Because I mean, there are so few purely specialist vampire magazines, and that are done really well. And Bite Me was a really good magazine. It was very glossy, and it was sold in sort of mainstream shops in England. Yeah. Which was, it's quite unusual.
It was quite unusual. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could go into a W.H. Smith's, which is one of our, is the most well-known magazine newsagent shops, and you'd have a magazine all about vampires. And so, it's just a shame it's not going anymore, but it was so good. It was so good when it's going.
That's very good. No, well, we are talking about Bite Me. We are talking about vampires. And my friends, I know you enjoy vampires. What are your favorite movies or TV series of vampires?
Oh, well, we like, I'm speaking for him as well, because I don't know you do. We both enjoy some of the older Hammer films. Twins of Evil is one of our favorites.
Lust of the Vampire.
Yeah. And Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Yeah, but the sort of Christopher Lee Hammer Dracula, that's the sort of films which we grew up with, and I suppose there's a very strong element of that within our music. It's sort of inspired quite a lot of it. Like Vampire Queen was inspired by the soundtrack from the Hammer horror films. We also used to have comics which used to come from the USA called Vampire Tales. In the early 70s they started, and they used to come over to the UK in about 1976, 1977, and we were quite inspired by those as well, I think. But we didn't know each other, but we both used to get these magazines. They also used to do they used to do a poster magazine as well called Monster Mag, which used to show gory photographs of the sort of mainly Hammer films, and with a big poster in middle, and it used to fold up to be a magazine, and when you opened it up, you had the poster to put on the wall. And we used to collect those, didn't we? We did. Both had those, yeah.
Yeah, we still got quite a few. But yeah, I think the old school vampire movies, as Tony says, very much something we grew up with. Yeah. But then some of the contemporary vampire movies and tropes are very powerful too. A lot darker. They kind of sort of let me in, and that kind of was the more tortured aspect of the vampire. Whereas, yeah, I think sort of in the 70s it was very much the kind of yes, very sexualized, and sort of its time. A lot of them were sort of historic period pieces. So it's the heaving bosoms and the corsets and
sorry, I did that.
And of course Nosferatu. I mean, you can't. There's no getting away. Nosferatu is just
they sort of that's the 1981 remake, isn't it? The sort of
yeah.
So Werner Herzog remake. Yeah.
I'm thinking of Nosferatu, Salem's Lot, when it was a three-part Stephen King's Salem's Lot. Yeah, when it went out in 3 parts in England.
Not the remake, the one with David Soul in it.
Yeah, not the movie, but in England in the, was it 70s? 80s? Early 80s. You went out, and then the vampire in that was very much the Nosferatu. And I think we both watched that when we were young. And the young boy who came back as a vampire, and he's there at the window and just sort of let me in, and that's so chilling. And even now, I just love watching it because you just get the shivers. Just really powerful.
It's extremely powerful. We talk about Nosferatu. I remember, did you already watch the movie What We Do in the Shadows of Australia?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the TV series as well.
They became a TV series.
Yeah, we thought the TV series was actually better than the film. Actually, yeah.
So good. It's just really, really, really good writing. Yeah, and it brings in all the vampire lore. And just really makes fun of it, but it's great. I think it's done with love, so it's
it's a great series, great movie, and we have a figure of Nosferatu called Petir.
Yeah.
Petir illustrates me when I wake up every day, every night.
Yeah,
I feel like it.
Yeah, be the same. Just.
She is a phoenix rising higher. She is a falling seraphim. She is a chalice that holds a sacred fire. She's of the dead, and she is of the damned. She is beyond good and evil. She's an angel.
recently I see a book from you, right? Please,
Yes.
please tell me more about this book. I see the cover. I read the texts on Facebook, and it looks great. Please explain. Tell me more about this new book.
Yeah, well, we've been thinking about writing a book about the what some of the lyrics are about in our songs. So we've the first one is about the lyrics of the Witchcraft and Wonders series of albums which we did, which are the more folky albums. We had 3 of them. They're a trilogy, and this book tells the story behind some of the lyrics on those 3 albums. It's because all the stories on there are based around here, and they're all supposed, true stories, and it's about what actually really happened, which some people might find interesting. And it gives an explanation about what the songs are about. And if this goes well, we may well write other books explaining some about what the lyrics are about on some of the other albums, But it's been we've already had a lot of advance orders from it, and it looks like it's going to be quite successful.
Yeah, so the it comes with a CD. So there's a CD is in the back of the book, and it's got the 13 songs, and then there's 13 chapters. So you can listen to the songs, and then you can read about the stories behind them, the legends or the folklore behind the songs. So we just hope it sort of gives more meaning to the songs. And we took it in turns writing the chapters.
Yeah, so we've each written separate stories.
Yeah.
As we each wrote separate lyrics for the songs, didn't we? So hopefully people might find it interesting.
That's amazing. And how we can acquire this book?
From our website.
Yeah,
inkubusukkubus.com. We ship all over the world. It's obviously postage is quite expensive, but it's a nice book, and it comes with the CD, and on the CD it's got every track which is mentioned within the book. Mm-hmm. So you can listen to the CD and read the story at the same time.
Wow! This is that's a experience. That's a special experience. We can read, we can listen, and this creates a magical atmosphere. And my friends, did I hear a new album on your plans?
We we are actually writing at the moment. Yeah, but obviously. For the immediate time being, we're concentrating on the book, but I've been doing a lot of composing already, and we'll be hopefully recording quite soon, recording some new tracks and have an album out early next year. Yeah, it'll be sometime next year. Yeah, but we're putting on our energy into the book, and the CD. Yeah.
That's very good. My favorite songs of the last one are Let the Night Reign Forever and Vampire Queen. Please, may you tell a bit more of these lyrics and tell us a bit more of the last album and about these 2 amazing songs?
Well, Let the Night Last Forever is about the sort of feeling which you have when it's a very special night, and it's like full of magic and everything, and it's going to be destroyed when the morning comes, and all the sort of energy and the passion is going to dissipate, and it's a sort of a bit of a vampire sort of song, because it's saying that you want the night to be eternal, the Vampire Queen is a sort of it's a throwback to all of the Lilith songs which we have as well, where it's about the sort of the dark side of the goddess, where it's her personality which goes through all of the sort of vampiric sort of themes which are in the album, and also is a bit of a sort of part of it's a sort of homage to the Hammer horror films, with people like, you know, Ingrid Pitt and the sort of archetypal female Dracula type.
Countess and Camilla.
Yeah. So it's a sort of it's almost like a sort of honorary song about those women and all the women and girls who follow us who identify with that female vampire.
Yes, definitely. It's a powerful one. It's a powerful archetype. I feel it's a magical one. And I remember from an album about Dia de los Muertos, about the Mexican mystic of Day of Dead too. I remember some songs about.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very interested in sort of ceremonies and different ways of dealing with death in different cultures, death rites, and particularly in Mexico, the whole idea of almost a celebration when it's the Day of the Dead, that you go back and you party, you invite your loved ones that you've lost, invite them back, and then you sit with them, you drink, you remember. And so the Viva la Muerte is essentially it's a concept album telling the story of a couple who parted by death on their wedding night, but they're reunited in death. So the album takes you through the celebration of their wedding and then death coming to both of them, the burial, the emergence from the earth, and ultimately as in decaying beauty, it's as the love between them will last forever, but their bodies can't. So it's about eternal love. Is that, you know, love is something that's not sort of tied to your bodily form, and so that the love will endure.
It's a beautiful and mighty history, and I will listen to this album again this evening. And it's very good to have access, listen directly from you both about the histories, about the creative process on your lyrics and your music, and I feel very happy for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Now
I see
have some strange histories when are you both creating music and in the end of the night, when the night is higher, and then you feel inspiration, you began to create new lyrics, new music. So I'm a graphic artist. A lot of times in the high nights of the, I have strange stories here on my home with my cats, with a kind of haunting on your roof. And then they will have strange histories when you are creating your music, your songs, or funny histories maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, quite often in the recording process, things will happen. When we were recording Underworld, which is on the Heartbeat of the Earth album, suddenly there was this massive storm happened whilst we were actually doing it, and the storm was so loud it's actually on the track and everything. It was a truly magical moment of this massive electrical storm, and we thought we were going to have to cancel the session, but there's lightning crashes throughout the entire song,
even though it's a soundproof
room. Yeah,
where we were recording in the studio, but it was the power of the electrical storm that came through.
And also when we were when we just been recording the album Belladonna and Aconite, when we were driving home afterwards, and we had this sort of like you know, like, because we'd been in the studio and we could feel the energy of the recording out and everything, and suddenly this almost like very, very large pure white goat ran in the middle of the road, and it was a really large goat. It wasn't a little one. It was almost as big as a horse, and there was a farmer chasing it, and so that seemed almost like quite a poignant thing, because it
was Baphomet.
Yeah, it was this giant white goat, and it must have been about almost 6 foot tall. Yeah. And there was this man chasing it, screaming after it, and it was really weird. That was really weird, yeah. But yeah, when we actually write things, I quite often suddenly hear things in my head. I can hear the chorus suddenly. It just comes into my head, and I know I just have to write it down. And there's been a few times when I haven't, and it's just gone, you know. There's been quite a few times, and I've heard the choruses. It's mainly the actual choruses, and I'm just walking along, and I can suddenly hear them. Like in on the Dark Goddess album, we've got a song called Carnana, and I heard that chanting in my head. I just heard it. It just came in there, and I knew I just had to write it down. And that's exactly how I heard it on the recording. That's how that song came out. So I was quite glad to capture that. But there've been lots of other times as well. You know, I've just suddenly heard something or had a sort of feeling about something, and sometimes like we've got this track called Vale of Eden, which is about a plague visiting a small village, and I actually dreamt that, and in the morning I woke up and I had the song and everything, all the melody, and it was like a video playing in my mind, and I had to like write it down, and we recorded it just a few days after that, didn't we?
We did.
So yeah. So that was quite magical. Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. It's great histories, my noble friends. And then, okay, some things strange pop up on my screen. Sometimes what? Oh, okay, right now. Well, we have some friends here from our Fantasy Party Online. some of our watchers on Twitch Rede Vamp. And, well, we have here our violin player, Isabelle Violin Full, sending a good night for you. Carol Frigg, our Gothic ballet dancer from our Paris. DJ Maelo, my beloved Chandra Sahasra, Ricardo, and Jess Rivers. All they are sending a good night for you.
Hello.
They are very happy with this little talking of.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, and now let me ask you two things. One, Tony, when we gonna heard more news about Vampire Division? New album, new remixes. When we gonna have some good stuff from Vampire Division?
Well, maybe sometime in the future, but at the moment, I'm obviously concentrating on this book. But yeah, there's a few songs which I did have, which I have, which obviously but I suppose I just haven't got around to doing anything with them. But mainly, it's a bit difficult to actually do both bands really. Because we've been outputting quite a lot of material with the Inkubus Sukkubus. So I mean, we've been doing 2 albums a year for quite some time now. The last track I did with Alan Hale, who was singing on it, and he's from a band called Isolation in Britain, and he wrote the lyrics as well for that track. But I don't know what I'll be doing with Vampire Division in the future. Although there's 24 tracks which you can download on Bandcamp completely free of charge. So if anybody wants any of that, that's all on there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I know. And talk about Bandcamp, Spotify. How you are dealing with these new platforms to promote your sound? Sometimes the listeners may buy some songs or the entire album. How are you view perspectives about Spotify, Bandcamp, and this kind of ways of share and sell your music? Are you feeling a good thing come from this way?
Yeah, it's good. It's good that people can actually hear you, and it's good that obviously people who are like thousands of miles away and obviously don't want to wait 3 weeks for an album to turn up. I mean, obviously we don't get paid very much if people buy the album on Spotify.
Because they don't own it.
They don't actually own it, yeah. But it's good that people are listening to it, and that's the main thing, really.
Yeah. I think that we the way we like to look at it, I think you have to embrace it, because so many people know. Probably most people are streaming. He's sneakily getting some more wine. He's trying to sneakily do it. Show what you're doing, Tone.
When you came to Brazil, we have a wine here called the Rede Vivo, and you think you will appreciate it.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, with Spotify, I think you can get out to so many more people than you would do normally because it's so accessible. Yeah. I mean, we stream music ourselves a lot, but also we enjoy physically having a CD, an album in your hand. you know, particularly if it comes with, you know, nice artwork and you know, it's something to enjoy and have. But yeah, you have to appreciate that a lot of people want to stream via Spotify or whatever. And so yeah, it's good, and you can make your own playlists, and it's, you know, it's very, very accessible. So yeah, we embrace it.
That's very good. And so, after pandemic, did you have plans for the new shows, a tour?
We're hoping to be back playing as soon as possible. We've just found out we had a gig lined up for Austria, and because there was a chance that we could have done that possibly, but that's been cancelled now. We've got some dates planned in Germany in January, but whether we'll be able to do those is another matter. We just don't know. In the meantime, we're looking at doing a few more appearances online, maybe, and try to get the quality better as well.
Yeah, and we're also doing, as we were talking about the book earlier, we're going to do a virtual book launch where we'll do a bit of chat, talking about the stories and songs, and then playing some of the songs. So in the coming weeks, if people want to look out for that, we're planning on doing that in a rather special venue. So watch out for it. We're still putting that together.
That's very good, my noble friends. Well, we are going to our last minutes from our show, our interviews here on Twitter, Rede Vamp, and I think, Saturday, 26th of September. Are you available? Are you be with us on our Fantasy Party online?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope we'll be there. So always a good show.
Oh, good. And then I feel we'll love you that came there to promote your new book. We are always open to receive all your releases. Inkubus Sukkubus is a very loved band here on Brazil, always present on our parties.
Thank you.
And it's hard. We make a party and our DJs don't play at least one or two songs of you. You made part of our history here. You make part of my 22 years as DJ and producer of event producers here in Brazil. And I'm very happy and passing this time with you this evening. And we share some ideas. You offer some views of your creative process. And then in this end of this radio show, please leave a special message for our audience here in Brazil, Argentina, Portugal too. We
really wish we could be with you. I think is ultimately what we'd like to say. I mean, thank goodness there are platforms like this where we can, you know, thanks goodness for technology, where we can talk. You're wherever, you know, in Brazil, and we can at least make contact that way. But to actually be with you in person, and to be partying with you, drinking your special red wine, and making music and enjoying it together, that will be wonderful. And we look forward to the day.
Yeah, hopefully, not too far in the distant future. We're definitely very much looking forward to actually playing in Brazil. Definitely,
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, and thank you for everybody in Brazil and Portugal as well, who have followed us for all of this time.
Thanks for supporting us. It really does mean a lot.
Well, my noble friends, I hope that after this strange 2020 year, I had plans and we have dreams here to watch you play a jig on our Carmilla Dark Gala Nocturne on the Hasbaya Mansion. And me and Chandra are working hard we elaborate a great plan to realize this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're working so hard. Everyone appreciates all the work you're doing. It's so good.
Thank you so much, Candia, Tony. One more time. Thank you so much by your time, by your presence. And I hope to pass more time with you here on Twitch, Rede Vamp, and our fantasy, and some new projects that we are promoting on internet in these next months. Okay?
Okay.
Keep doing what you're doing. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, my noble friends. Thank you one more time.
Bye-bye. Take care, all.
Se você gostou deste vídeo, deixe um curtir, compartilhe com pessoas afins e visite sempre o nosso portal redevamp.com.